What's going on, guys? It's the Game Life for me here. Now in today's video I'm going to be talking about The Walking Dead Season 8 All Out War. And I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on All Out War, who will die this season and when All Out War will end, and most importantly, who will win All Out War. Negan's team, the Saviors, or Rick's team. Okay guys, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, I'm going to talk about who I think will die this season. I do think Tara will die this season. She's just not an interesting character. She's actually not a very popular character either, and I don't really like her. I wouldn't miss her if she actually died. She's just such a boring character, and I do think her time is up in The Walking Dead. She came in season 4, she's been here quite a few seasons, and I think her time is up. Okay, moving on. I do think Kara will die this season. And I know some of you might be surprised, but I do think she'll die this season. She's been there since the very beginning. I think like episode 1. Do think her time is up. She's just, for me, I don't hate her, but she's just not an interesting character. Like, she hasn't really been getting much screen time. Like, in season 7, she only got 3-4 episodes. And that was it, just of her, near the kingdom. And, I think that might be a kind of a sign that they might be killing her off soon. I really wouldn't miss her if she died. She's an okay character, but, she's the badass. She's killed a lot of the Saviors, but I do think she will die this season. Now, moving on to when All Out War will end. Now, I have to say, there is just no way that The Walking Dead All Out War will end episode 8. I think it will actually end the last few episodes of season 8, or probably just actually the last episode. And if it actually does end in the mid-season final, that would have to be this dumbest and stupidest thing The Walking Dead has ever done. Okay, now moving on to who I think will win All Out War. And I'm going to be talking about who will win All Out War, realistically. Okay, so at Alexandria, there are 50 people living there. And breaking out is just soldiers, fighters. I think there will be about 30. So they needed more numbers, so they went to the hilltop and got 20 soldiers. And in season 7, episode 9, Rick said it is not enough soldiers. So they went to the kingdom, and Rick's face, it just lights up, and he said they got numbers. So judging on how big the kingdom is, it's very big, and how many of the kingdom men I've seen on screen, I say there would be probably about 130 people living there. And breaking out as soldiers, I say there'd be 110. So at Alexandria, the hilltop, and the kingdom, there are 160 soldiers altogether. A decent number. Now guys, moving on to the Saviors. Negan at his own base, the Sanctuary, is much bigger than the kingdom. And what I've seen on screen, there would be about 150 people living there. And putting it down to the soldiers, I say there'll be 130. And Negan right-hand men, like Simon, Gavin, Dwight, and Regina, each of them have their own outpost, and Dwight even said himself, there isn't just the Sanctuary, there are outposts. Now, there are 4 outposts, one for each of Negan's right-hand men, but I think they would probably just have one more. Now, I say there are 40 soldiers for each outpost. And if you guys remember that episode in season 6 where Rick's group took out an outpost, there were a lot of people there. Now, altogether, Negan has 300 soldiers. And since the scavengers are on the side, he has about 350 now. Against Rick's group, which is Alexandria, the hilltop, and the kingdom, which altogether they have 160. A big number difference. But now I'm going to talk about how many Saviors died so far this season, the first 3 episodes, and also how many of Rick's group died. Now, in the first episode of season 8, Rick's brought the fight right to Negan's doorstep. Now, they didn't kill anyone, they just like shot up the sanctuary and led a huge walkers to the sanctuary. Now, Now, these are very like accurate numbers on how many saviors died and how many Rick's group died. I went back and rewatched the first 3 episodes and like gave a little tick for whenever like a savior died or whenever like a person in Rick's group died. So these are like spot on numbers. Now, in the first 3 episodes, 104 saviors died. I got this number because of how many died at that outpost where Rick thought some guns were, and also how many saviors like Ezekiel men killed. They killed actually a lot of saviors, many more than Rick's group did. Now, moving on to how many soldiers of Rick's group died. 11 people died in Rick's group when they were attacking that outpost, and at the end of episode 3, there were exactly 38 of the Ezekiel men, and I got this number because there was a clear bird's eye view of them at the last few minutes of the episode 3. And when a savior was like shooting at them with that really like powerful gun from that building, it was taking out like a lot of them, you know what I'm saying? And it didn't actually show like how many of them the savior took out, but like the small clip that like we saw, it was taking out a lot of them. So I say it took out probably about 25 of them. And he was like, the savior was able to take out so many because Ezekiel and his men were like, they were very exposed and they had like nowhere to run to like for cover. So that's just leaving 13 of them, including Ezekiel himself and Carol. So that means altogether the saviors killed 36 and Rick and Ezekiel killed 104 saviors. I actually was like fairly surprised to see how many saviors got killed, like the Rick's group like killed, and that was like the fantastic starting to All Out War. So this means there are 246 savior left, and Rick has 124. Yeah, there still is a big number difference in soldiers. And like the saviors have a lot more firepower. And Negan in the first episode of the season, and he even said to Rick, you know, he was like, "Oh, do you really think you have the numbers for this?" And Negan looks very confident about the whole situation, like of All Out War. He thinks he's gonna win, and it does look like the saviors are gonna win this war. But if Rick and Ezekiel are smart and careful, they could win the war. And as Carl says, and I quote, "They got numbers, but we got strategy." And if they continue to use that strategy and not like rush and take their time and planning their attacks, they actually could win All Out War. Okay guys, that's going to be the video. I enjoyed this, making this and writing all this very much. I had a great fun doing it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'm going to be doing these videos from now on, just theories, predictions. We'll be doing any more games. Okay guys, I will see you next week with another video, and goodbye. Thanks for watching.